Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Church of Uganda Family TV, and especially to Flourishing Hub, which always happens here every Saturday at 2 p.m., where we get to discuss very many issues to do with helping a youth become some very important person in their lives. Now, remember, Flourishing Hub is always centered on empowering the youth, of course, to make better of themselves, and we always run on 4 pillars, one of which is money. We always encourage the young people or the young people out there to know the principles of money, how to make money, how to make use of money, and how to spend it and all that. So it is always something we entirely base on here. Another pillar that we base on is also a strategy. You must have a plan in order to thrive or to be a successful person in life. Then another one is mentors. You have to be having someone experienced who can guide you, and you become someone who is better, because trust me, in every field that you tackle, there has been someone there who has done something better. So those are the people that will bring in, they mentor you, and you become someone better. And then the last one, which ideally is something we are also going to discuss today, is daring. We always encourage the youth. We are centered on a pillar of daring the youth, or making them exploit and of course discover opportunities, and then make them world-class businesses, so that entirely those are the 4 pillars we base on here in Flourishing Hub. And of course we are powered by Flourishing Young and Flourishing, which ideally today I'm privileged to be here with the big man, of course, the founder of Young and Flourishing, Mr. Herbert Sabiiti. You're most welcome, sir.
As usual.
Yes.
The culprit. Good afternoon, viewers, especially young people. I think we have nagged you enough. Let's continue growing together. I'm also still daring, doing things here and there, but I want youth to really dare and become successful.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
interesting.
be happy. It's my passion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So in case you are a youth out there, you know the right person to reach out to, in just in case you have anything you want to make up in life. He has a lot. You can reach out to Young and Flourishing. He'll be telling us the details of where they are located and what they entirely do. Of course, we shall also dive into that as we close up this show today. But today we are going to be discussing how youth can bravely pursue actions that later on lead to success in their life. It is very important that we discuss on daring opportunities, how you can dare yourself to earn something, and then later on you earn a living, or you become prosperous through that. So we know we always tend to neglect opportunities, but maybe somehow, somewhere, that opportunity you're neglecting is what could have put you up there. So it is always important, and that is why today we are going to be discussing how daring works. What is daring specifically? If before we dive into the discussion.
Daring. I think in this life there are many risks. There are very many risks, and those risks have to be taken whether you want or not.
Okay.
Because when you leave home coming to work, there is a risk of an accident.
Oh, yes.
There is a risk of even not getting food. So life is full of risk, and I have seen very many successful people over the world. They have to take the risk. If you don't take the first step, then you cannot be successful. So daring is taking the risk. You calculated risk. Sometimes recently I was telling people that there are some risks I normally take that are not calculated, that I wouldn't advise people to take. You know, diving into the deep water, testing the depths of the water with both legs.
Oh, that is very risky.
If you drown, you drown. You can drown. So sometimes uh, uh, my friend called Odette, told me that I'm now a motivational speaker. So as motivational speakers, we tell you to dive
Yeah.
in the to dive in waters, and you test the depth using both legs.
Mm.
But daring is taking a risk because it is inevitable. You will have to take risk in this life.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, maybe on your personal experience, what is that risk you have boldly taken and it made you grow to someone?
It comes from my background. I lost my mother when I was 9 years old, and I went into to live with my maternal parents. I've ever mentioned it on this show, and actually, as a matter of fact, in my primary seven, in my primary up to P7, I studied in 9 schools.
9 schools.
You know,
Wow.
you know they are they are 7 years, 7 primary,
7.
but I did nine
9 schools.
9 schools,
Wow.
not including nursery because I never went to nursery school. Uh, but one thing I remember that changed my life and makes me who I am today is deciding, because at P6 I was not constructing any sentence in
Oh.
English. I would see people, there were some two young, a girl and a boy, coming from a primary school in Kabale Municipal. For us, we are in KDA. KDA, I think, used to be Kabale District Administration, something. Those were for rural schools. Then the ones in the Kabale municipality were municipal schools. So I would see them speak English and I admire them. So I dared. How did I dare? I went to the headmaster and asked for vacancy in P7. Vacancy in P7. When the headmaster asked me, where are your parents? I told him that I've come here to start my life and my parents are not aware.
Wow.
And he was so shocked that a young person, a young boy like me, could ask, I could dare, could pursue his life like that without parents knowing. So he gave me the vacancy, of course, but he also promised me that he's going to demote me to P6. And he said, since you are coming from a rural school and you don't know all these things, we are going to demote you to P6. But I was so passionate and I didn't mind. But I told him that give me one chance, one term. If I don't make average, if I don't do the pass mark, then you demote me to P6.
Okay.
And he saw a young boy negotiating. Actually, up to now, I learned in negotiation, even in my business. I do negotiate. I have a friend called Kenneth who normally calls me to go and negotiate on his behalf. I like negotiation. So I negotiated with him, and indeed, he accepted me to go to P7 directly. And the first term, I was above average, so they never demoted me. That's how I managed to go to Chikunjiri Primary School. The headmaster who gave me that unfortunately passed on, the late Mr. Himbisige. So I dared. The parents they didn't know. Little, of course, I didn't know that they were going to ask me school fees.
You just
I
went.
remember it was 7,000, but I didn't have it. So I went to Muse and asked him school fees. Of course, those days, parents, you wouldn't approach your father directly. You go through your mom. So I went through my mom to ask her, to tell her what I did, and she said, "You are completely finished." And she went and told him, and I overheard him say, this boy is going to be successful in life. To you parents watching, I think that thing affirming me that I'm going to be successful in life drove me to do many other things, to dare with many things, because he appreciated my daring to go and look for vacancy in primary 7. And from there, then I started studying from best schools. I went to O level in the St. Mary's College Rushoroza. I went to the famous senior for A level. Senior is Kigezi College Butovere. We call it the only senior in the whole world. It's the only senior Kigezi College Butovere. So I studied in better schools. I went to Makerere to do BBA because of that daring. Otherwise, I would be like a primary teacher in the village there, and I think I would never know family TV, and you never host me. So, from the beginning, I dared to do that. I've done many things that, including daring to start this program of Young and Flourishing. So, to you younger people, if you ever think of an idea, I normally tell people, and I believe that God is always showering ideas on us, especially if you wake up around 3 a.m. and you start praying. God gives you ideas, and those ideas are for you to advance His kingdom here on earth. If you don't work on that idea, if you don't act on that idea that God has given you, if you don't dare, God will give it to another person. That is for fact. Sometimes, have you ever known that sometimes you think of a business idea, then you procrastinate, then after 2 years you find the same exact idea, someone has that business, and you wonder why you never started. Because God doesn't like wastes. He doesn't like wastes, because all these ideas are to establish His kingdom on earth. So I urge you to, if you think of an idea, you work on it. If you die, you die, but you will not die. But at least try to work on that idea. That is what we call daring.
Now, daring comes along with fear. Someone can hesitate to do something because they are afraid of maybe the results and all that. How can someone overcome the fear? Or maybe, like, how did you overcome the fear of you boldly going to the office of the head teacher at your age, and then you do that? How do you overcome that kind of fear?
I also don't know. I don't know what had happened to me to boldly go to the head teacher to ask for vacancy. But to me, I think we always fear failure because of that inferiority complex, that esteem. Sometimes when we are young, we are crushed by the environment within where we grew up from. Sometimes when you would cough in class, you have that hard cough. When you cough, everyone laughs at you. Sure. Sometimes even including teachers, they laugh at you. So you feel bad. When you speak poor English, they laugh at you. They say that you have tired the buffalo, something like that. Remember those things?
They used to make us put on bonds.
At St. Mary's, I remember they used to make us wear socks, and they put you on sunshine. Sometimes I would do. Maybe I feel like I need vitamin D, so I speak vernacular, and they put him on sunshine with a sack. But the environment we grew up in, the people around us make us fear to do things, because you fear to be laughed at when you fail. You fear to start something, because there is always some negative energy around you. So I dare you to start thinking about yourself, not the environment around you. those negative energies will not put food on your table.
Yes, sure.
They cannot put food on your table. So if you fear to start something because you don't want to fail, because they will laugh at you, let them laugh at you, but start something. Yeah.
Do you think also the family background could contribute to someone's fears, sort of?
Oh yes, and to your parents, I request you to always allow children to fail. Recently, I was reading many posts about these primary living exams that someone gets 7, but you feel even the parent is crying because they want to go to Budro and they want to go to Gayaza. So you make the child feel that they have failed. Eh?
Actually,
To me, I got 13 aggregates, and my muzee, I love you, grandpapa. He gave me a Coke.
wow.
Yeah, he slaughtered a Coke, and we enjoyed the Coke because I 13 aggregates is second grade. But now someone gets 8, 7, and they think that the child has failed. So I think the background matters so much. I think there are many posts that have been saturating. I think most of you have read. But to me, what I say is that your child, you cannot, a monkey cannot compete with with a fish how to swim. A frog cannot compete with a monkey on how to climb the tree. So every child has their potential. Every child has their God-given destiny. You need to always encourage. You always encourage and encourage, but also try to help them to excel. Try to always push them. I tell my children that do whatever you can in your power, in your means. If you know that you have got 40, but you tried so hard and you have got 40, in your heart, deep, sincerely, you tried and you got 40, that is okay. But if you know you got 40 because of your laziness, because of your sleep or your carelessness, then it's not okay. So we encourage people to excel, but we shouldn't really demoralize them. The background matters so much. When I was growing up, they would give me a side garden where to plant my own food, and after planting, I would sell it. So I grew up not buying, not expecting clothes from my parents, because I would buy for myself clothes through the garden, through selling those foodstuffs that I was planting. So encourage young people to pursue many skills. Alongside actually this formal education, there is a lot. I always tell people that I think it's even less than 10%, the formal education we get, because what makes us survive is the skill we get. That's why my son, who is 10 years now, at 6 years he started washing my car. Now he has perfected, and I pay him. Actually, he's now a millionaire. He has an account in Fixed Circle. Because every time he washes, I pay him 5,000. Now he has perfected it, so I increased 10,000, the one I pay outside. And because I told him that at 18 years you will not be at home. When I told people, they said now you need to be reported to police for child abuse. But at 18 years, someone will not be at home. Yes, he will be at campus, but I told him at 18 years, you have grown, you will be independent. So it took him many months thinking about it. Then he went to the mom and asked, now when my dad chases me from this house, where will I go? Who will cook for me? Am I going to marry? So there were many questions that he asked, and he started preparing to be independent.
Okay.
At 18 years, he has to be independent, so he
How
started
old is he again?
preparing. Now he's 10 years. 8 years remaining. He's preparing to be independent.
Wow. That is
So,
interesting.
young people, I mean, parents teach young people to be independent, to be resilient. These days, I see, uh, as you are aware, I have a challenge. I have a daring of 100 days
Oh, yes.
of 5 kilometers walk every day about mental health, because it is these days young people are mentally stressed. They are mentally ill. I don't know. They are not resilient at all. Any threat storm, it hits them hard, and they become mentally disturbed. And we have seen many people who are depressed, many young people who are very depressed. And I call upon parents to start at the young age to make people go through like training, like military training, so that whenever such a kind of storms come, they find someone already have shock absorbers.
Okay. And it's actually what I wanted to ask you about the resilience. How does someone get resilience to do what to do that to continue with the daring they have in mind?
Yeah, resilience is everything. That's why the Bible knows that everything begins from the mind. Eh? Uh, do not conform to the standards of the world, but let your be renewed by your mind. And then they say an idle mind is a devil's workshop. Everything starts in the mind. So if you feel like if your parent tells you to walk 5 kilometers, you feel like in your mind you put it like a punishment, and you keep saying, how could dad do this? How could dad doesn't love me? What? In in the end, you find in your mind you have put a lot of demons. You have expanded your problems. Eh? Actually, proxy problems that are not there. You have expanded them, and then you find you are mentally stressed and you become depressed. But if someone tells you, let's go and do this, let's walk 5 kilometers, and you say, wow, this is an opportunity. Eh? Then in your mind you have put it that this is an opportunity. So some people see opportunities as threats. Eh? Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. We're still discussing matters to do with daring. What daring is you have to take up a very bold step in order to achieve something. Because really, in order to achieve something, it all comes back to the mind, just like Herbert is telling us. You have to decide in your mind that I'm going to do this, and then you go for it, and then resiliently stay in there so that you can really achieve that. We're still discussing this. We're going in for a very short break and then return instantly. Welcome back. You're still watching Church of Uganda Family TV, and it is Flourishing Hub. Remember, young and flourishing is what is empowering us to keep moving here. And of course, today we are blessed to have once again the man himself, Mr. Sabiiti Herbert, who is the founder of Young and Flourishing. Today we are discussing how can the youth bravely pursue bravely take on a step so that they can be better in life. Or you can say, how can youth bravely pursue actions that will lead to success in their life? Now, we've been discussing a number of issues, and we've seen how Mr. Herbert Sabiiti is engaging his young child, his son, who is now taking on washing his car and then growing into that. But later, of course, I think he will appreciate when time comes, when he sees the actual value of that. It is important to tame your children to that. Do not just, can I call it, babysitting them. You babysit your child until they are 18, then you tell them start doing this and this. I don't think that is the right way to go. Just follow what Mr. Herbert Sabiiti is doing. So now we're still discussing this, and I want us to still delve a little bit about resilience, then we continue with the discussion. How resilience can actually give much, can I say, credit to what you're pursuing in life. Yes, the resilience, the force.
First of all, we need to understand that actually, as the day comes and the night comes or goes, there is no situation that is permanent on this earth, whether good situation or bad situation. I repeat, whether good situation or bad situation, there is no situation that is permanent.
Okay.
So you young people need to know that there is no situation that is permanent. First of all, you need to understand that you cannot remain young. If your parents are paying for you school fees, if your parents are taking care of everything, buying food, ask the man behind these cameras is now suffering with how do they call it, commando. Yet everything, he used to enjoy everything from the dad. So he should know, now he knows that he wouldn't remain young. So when you're at campus, don't expect that you are going to remain at campus and you'll be eating that food from your dad. Now, if you understand that, no situation is permanent, then if you are in a serious storm, like you have started a business and it is really stressing you, you know that there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And of course, sometimes we always say that there is always light at the end of the tunnel, because we are not into that tunnel. When someone is inside that dark pipe, that dark tunnel, and you tell them there is light, it will not understand you. But yes, it is true, because you have ever gone through something, and that something never killed you. You survived. So why do you think that this time you are going to die? So to me, I think resilience is knowing that if I do this thing, even if it fails, I will not die. Even if it succeeds, then I continue growing it until it becomes, until it goes beyond me. For example, Young and Flourishing is now beyond me. I have trained very many young people in our thousands. Some have jobs, others are doing businesses, and I'm happy about it. So it is beyond me now. So if you do something and you grow it and you find it's beyond you, you really feel proud and you become happy.
Wow.
So resilience, there is always a price to pay. You cannot dare when you will not pay the price, because you cannot just be on the flat ground. There are valleys, there are mountains, there are thorns. I'm sounding like a motivational speaker, like Odette says. Yeah, but that is it. There are always those storms, and to me, I think if I was still a young person, how can you how can you be resilient? It's just work on your mind. Work on your mind. When I wake up early, today I woke up at 6 and I ran 7 kilometers. I ran 7 kilometers at 6 a.m. before I came to before I went to do other things. So to me, I think I think when I'm running, I'm just training my mental, my brain to work, because sometimes the legs, they feel tired, and they feel tired because of the mind. When you are somewhere and you in your mind you think, I still have this distance to do. In your mind, you feel tired in your legs. So the body,
Starts with the mind.
it starts in the mind. The body, everything even you young people, the sins you commit will start in the mind. When you think of going to smoke or what, it starts in the mind. Everything that you do, even sexual immorality, it starts in the mind.
So, do we have any cultural factors or societal factors that can lead to the advantageous or disadvantageous of someone daring for opportunities?
Yeah, I think like we mentioned, the environment you where we are raised matters so much. If for example you you are born and you find your parents every morning, they go and run. Eh? They go and run every morning. Your parents go and run. You feel like it is an easy thing to do. But if every day the parents give you those video games, they put you on TV, and these days because parents are not they don't have time for their children. They bribe them by giving them different things the children ask, and these children are very wise. They know that if dad is not around, if I ask him this, he will provide. He will provide, and they use politics. Sometimes if you don't provide, they go to the mom. So, if they realize that at home you are not united, they will they, they will utilize that gap. So to me, I think the environment, the religion, the culture, the tradition also affects so much in the way we do our dailings. Yeah. Let's say let me talk about religion. Sometimes a preacher can lie you that money is the root cause of evil. Yet it is the love of money. Money is not evil, but the way you use money, it begins with you. But the preacher can twist it and say that money is the root cause of evil. So you grew up saying, whenever. Sometimes there are songs we sing and say everything. So long as I have Jesus, everything doesn't matter. And it is true, but money matters. And Jesus really, when you have money, whether you don't have money, Jesus remains Jesus. But I went for uh, for an evangelist back in our village for a mission, and we went to a secondary school. So the woman who was preaching, she started saying, "For you are studying, me I never studied, but Jesus is feeding me. Jesus is." You are discouraging people. Someone who already have thinks that I shouldn't go to this education is now someone tells you this education is hard paper, I should stop. Now someone comes and encourages you more that education is useless. What matters is Jesus. So the way the religion, the way the culture brings things to you, and you grow up with them, matters so much in daring. So if you they are so recently we are celebrating the NRM or liberation, and I saw many of them were Kadogos, including Kano Besija. I saw him when he was very young. Those guys, because of the environment that they were in, they were forced to dare and go and fight. Will you also dare and go and fight, not in the bush, but go and fight in this world to they already have an environment that can help you fight to be successful. This environment is the TV you are watching, this family TV you are watching, the environment of education the parents have given you education. Would you also dare to go and do something and fight on? Not being used by politicians Every time they are using you to rebel against the government or to rebel to hate your country. I'm not campaigning for NRM. I'm not I'm neutral. I'm not a politician, but I don't like every time someone thinks that Uganda, we are like Gaza. Mm? There is a friend of mine from Sweden. When she came, she told me, I came when I was very scared. I thought Uganda is at war because of what I read on social media. So on social media, people think that Uganda, like Kampala, is on fire. Huh? That's not how we are supposed to sell our country. That's not how we are supposed. Because if the environment is not conducive, you will not be able to dare to. You will not be able. And in your mind, if you think that the government is so bad, you will never see any opportunity. Eh? If you think that this country is very bad, you will never see any opportunity and you will not utilize the opportunities around you.
Now, under daring, what do you think is the role of the mentors or the role models in terms of pursuing?
Uh, at Young and Flourishing, like you mentioned from the beginning, at Young and Flourishing, we emphasize that every person, every young person, even every old person should have a mentor. All these successful people have mentors because people have gone through what you are going to go through. People have made mistakes that you don't need to do. So that's why you need a mentor. Now, a mentor encourages you in an environment where we are consuming negative energy. A mentor comes in to say, please go on. A mentor will guide you and make sure that you are focused. You know, sometimes what I've seen this life is consistency is very hard. To be consistent. That's why I'm daring these 100 days. And when I finish them, I know that I will speak as not a motivational speaker, but a person who has done, who has walked 5 kilometers every day for 100 days. So being consistent is very, very hard. And to be consistent in life, you need a mentor, you need that accountability partner, that accountability person whom you will say, I was supposed to read a book. This month I was supposed to read a book. I have read it. Okay, you have read it. Okay, summarize for me what you have read. Give me a book review. That's the role of a mentor. So everyone needs a mentor, and the mentor will help you to pursue your career or your business, to utilize those opportunities around you. Like I mentioned, we are consuming a lot of information, and most of the information, some of the information is negativity. It drains energy. It drains your energy. But when you have a mentor, when you have some groups, even not only mentors but your peers, when you have your peers that are pursuing same goals, then those people will help you. As a Christian, I cannot tell you to hate someone, but if you in your life you have someone who is always negative about everything, negative about a preacher, negative about the government, negative about the lecturer, negative about everything, that friend of yours should not be in your life. Don't hate her or him, but don't spend a lot of time with that person. We need people who can always encourage us.
Okay. What strategies can the youth employ to step out of the comfort zones?
Number one, join Young and Flourishing Network.
Okay.
That's strategy number one. If in your area there is no Young and Flourishing Network, please call this number, 0701 50 16 50. That's my number. 0701 501650. I will help you to form a club, a hub in your area, whether it is in the village, whether it is at university, whether it is in secondary. In that network, you will learn on how to dare, you will learn on how to make money, and you will be mentored by different people whom we have trained. That's strategy number one. Number two, when you think of doing something, don't procrastinate. You do it. Just do it like Nike, like Nike motto. Just do it.
Yes.
You will not die. Eh? If you think of starting a business, you go and start. You just do it. If it fails, that is the fees you have paid. Eh? I rather, instead of, by the way, congratulations, Makerere University graduates.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I know you were happy and you were supposed to celebrate, but that's when life begins. So instead of going for masters, ask daddy to give you that money and you start a business. Because instead of going for MBA, masters in business administration, starting a business is an MBA itself. And I love the fact that my sister's son, the dad gave him 5 million and promised him that if you multiply this money, then I'll be able to add you more. So young people who have graduated need to start doing something that will multiply their resources. Go to our to Church of Uganda Family TV YouTube. You will the Flourishing Hub. You will listen all these teachings that we have been giving you, including on how to get strategies on how to utilize those opportunities around you. They are there on Church of Uganda Family TV YouTube channel, Flourishing Hub.
Yes.
Then you will be able to flourish.
Yes, I understand your journey started from education. The bold step started from school. So how do you think it is important for education institutions to also bring in platforms or create environments that a child can dare themselves to do things like that?
No, actually, it should be actually over 70% should be that. 70% of not going to class and you dictate notes and write them. I think over like 70% of 70% of the time at university or even secondary should be about telling people about training young people to utilize opportunities around them. And I think the new curriculum is secondary education curriculum is tackling that. Yeah.
Oh, wow, interesting. Our time, I think, is fast spent. I think you can give us your
fast.
last shot, and then
the time was too fast,
Yeah,
but
sure.
that's how time runs. When you are 20 years, it will run, and you find you are 30 years, you find you are 40 years, you will not remain young. But as a matter of fact, I dared to start businesses, I dared to write a book, and I'm finishing another book. You also can dare to do something. And like I mentioned, like Nike says, just do it.
Wow. Thank you so much. Herbert Sabiiti is the founder of Young and Flourishing, which has been gearing us, which is continuing to gear us. And in case you want to get any of these, just like he told you, he read out the numbers. So please do find time and get that knowledge so that you can really empower yourself as being some prominent youth. You know, it is very important not to wait for that time when you're too old and then people call you rich. No, a young, rich person is very, very interesting to interact with. So it is important that you take on those moments, dare yourself to do something in life so that you can be someone really respectable in society. My name is Luke Majumba Alinaito, and it has been a pleasure having you here today. And of course, bring Kategeka sends greetings as well. Have yourselves a lovely afternoon.